seasonal greetings, and welcome to this festive edition of the Iron Phantom's Black Book. I am the Iron Phantom, and it is a Christmas special. So, let us begin with our festive tales, shall we? This first short Christmas horror story I want to tell you is called The Naughty Elf. Enjoy.
Christmas Eve. A young boy gets put to bed by his parents, kissing him good night and saying, "The sooner you go to bed, the sooner Santa comes." Then, kissing him good night and leaving the light on for him, a little night light, he goes to sleep. As he is about to sleep, he then hears a strange noise in his room, as something running around. He looks around and then gets a torch and investigates, hearing something in his bedroom. He then looks under the bed and sees something with red eyes and sharp teeth laugh mischievously. He then screams and his parents run to the bedroom. He then tells his parents, "Mom, Dad, there was something under my bed." The parents look under the bed and they say, "We don't see anything. Look, it's Christmas Eve. You shouldn't be having nightmares. You should be having happy thoughts, 'cause it's Christmas tomorrow. Look, go to sleep, okay?" The boy then asks, "Did you leave milk and cookies out for Santa?" "Yes, we did." "And carrots for the reindeer?" "Yes, we did, son. Good night." Then the boy hears more noises coming from downstairs. Trying to ignore it, he then hears it again. He then goes downstairs and looks around. He then goes upstairs to his parents' room and sees that they are fast asleep. Then he hears something crawl and creep around the house. He then gets a toy gun and goes downstairs very bravely and hears a crunching noise of something eating something. He then turns on the light and sees 3 presents around the tree, and also sees a little creature appearing to be an elf, standing with pointed ears, a witch-like nose and red eyes and sharp teeth. The boy asks, "Are you an elf?" "Yes," says the elf. "I am an elf." "Where is Santa?" "Santa? He must have been, because there's presents on the floor. Tell me, do you think it was Father Christmas that put the presents there? Or do you think it was your parents?" "I think it was Santa." "Do you want to see Santa? Do you like Christmas?" said the elf. "Yes." "Do you wish it was Christmas all the time?" "Yes." "Then come with me. You can live in Christmas forever." "No, I should go to bed." Then the naughty naughty elf then says, "Just take my hand and I can show you from just a touch of what your life could be like if you came with me." He then takes the elf's hand and sees something in his mind. Looking, he then tries to get away and get his parents. As he tries to flee the living room, the elf quickly moves fast and says, "Where are you going? Don't you want to live forever?" He then tries to escape, but the naughty elf gets him, and then, grabbing his hand, he bites him with his razor-sharp teeth, bleeding from his hand. Then the boy begins to feel strange as his nose turns witch-like, his eyes go red, his teeth become sharp, and his ears get pointed. He then becomes a naughty elf. Then the naughty elf says, "Hey, I know what. Your parents are asleep." Parents tell children everything, what to do. Don't you just sometimes hate them when they do that? The boy, now an evil elf, laughs menacingly, and then the naughty elf then goes into the kitchen and gets a knife and says, "Come, let's handle them," as they go upstairs with the knives. 2 days later, December 26, Boxing Day, it is reported on the local news that a couple have been brutally murdered and stabbed to death by an unknown killer, and that their son is missing and his whereabouts are unknown.
Did you like the dark humor in that? Or was it humorless at all? Well, that was the naughty elf. This next story I'm going to tell you is a prequel story. In last year's Christmas special, I told the story of the Devil of Christmas, which was a Krampus story. Well, if you haven't heard that story, you don't need to watch last year's Christmas special to refresh your mind, as we go back in time in this story. Yes, this chapter of the Devil of Christmas is a prequel. So, let us begin. This one is called The Devil of Christmas 1974. Enjoy it.
December 20th, 1974. Two brothers, Brian and John. John cannot wait for Christmas. As for Brian, he likes to cause trouble and make fun of his little brother. "I cannot wait for Santa Claus." Then Brian says, "Who cares about stupid old Christmas? And Santa Claus is not real. It's just mother and father putting presents down by the tree." "That is not true." "Anyway, we're going to see Grandma today." "Oh, of course, Grandma." Then the two boys go to see their grandmother. John, being a good grandson, helping her bake cookies, whilst Brian takes one of the cookies and eats them, and even takes John's. saying, "Hey, that was my cookie. Not anymore." The grandmother says, "Now, Brian, that was not nice. Remember, Father Christmas is watching, and he makes sure if anyone, whoever's naughty and whoever's nice. So you better be nice to your brother. Why, what will happen? Will I not get presents? Well, not just that, but you will also get a visit from Krampus." Who is Krampus? Their grandmother tells them. Krampus is like the shadow of Saint Nicholas, an evil Santa. Santa is good and fills people with joy. But where there is good and happiness, there is evil and anger. That's what Krampus is. He is Santa's evil. He looks like a goat man, and he has a sack full of coal and a switch, so he can hit children. And he always takes the naughty children. There's 3 signs to show that he is coming for you. On the first night, he leaves his switch in your shoe. On the second night, he will leave scratches behind. And then on the third night, if you're still not good, he takes you away in his sack where you become his helper forever. So you should be good to your brother John, and don't be naughty, Brian. Ah, that is just a story. I don't believe that. I'm like, 8 years old now. I'm too big to be thinking about Christmas and believing in Santa. Well, someone isn't going to get any presents on Christmas Day. Then, later that day, when John is drawing a picture of a Christmas tree, Brian then pours water on it, saying, "Whoops!" John saying, "Brian, stop tormenting me. I hate you." Now, Brian, says his father, "Be nice to your brother. It's nearly Christmas and you won't be getting presents." Oh, who cares about presents? I just know it's you and Mother. Okay, that's it. Off to bed. It's getting late. Fine. The next morning, Brian awakens and then finds a switch in his shoes. He then says, "Mom, Dad, did you put these there?" "We did not. Maybe it is your brother getting you back or something." He then takes the switch and goes up to John and hits him with the switch, saying, "Ow! Why have you put this in my shoe?" Says Brian, "I did not put it in your shoe. It must be Krampus." "Oh, come on, I don't believe in that crap and you shouldn't too. It was just a story Mother told us." Then John is writing his letter to Santa Claus. When he is writing his letter, John, "Oh, what is this you've gotten?" "I'm writing a letter to Santa, telling him what I want for Christmas." "Oh, you're such a baby." After he writes his letter, he puts it on the fireplace. Now later, when Mother and Father light the fire, the ashes will go up and go to Santa. Yeah, right. Then the mother calls them up, telling him the bath is ready. John goes up, whilst Brian, he takes the letter. and opens it, looking inside. He then rips it up and blows it out into the breeze. Later that night, whilst he's asleep, he hears a noise. He gets up out of his room and investigates the noise. Looking around, he sees nothing until he finds a lump of coal in the hallway. He then hears something moving. He calls out saying, "John, is that you?" "Okay. Good joke." He then retreats to his bedroom. There, something in the dark watches him with hooves and horns and claws. The next morning, when the father is in the bathroom, he hears a scream from Brian's room. Running in, he says, "What is wrong, my son?" "Look, Dad, someone scratched me." "I bet it was John." "Now why would John want to hurt you? He's your brother." The mother rushes in saying, "What's going on?" He thinks John scratched him. "He did." "Okay, that's enough. Now, John, do you know anything about this?" "Oh no, Krampus is coming for him." "Oh, shut up, it's not real, it was just a story Grandma told us," said Brian. "Okay, that's enough. I'm sure there is a logical explanation to why you have a scratch along your chest. Now, it doesn't look too bad. Just put a plaster on them. On 4 big scratches like that, well, you're not bleeding heavy. In fact, you're not bleeding much at all. It's dried out into a scab now." Then, later that day, whilst John is playing in the garden, Brian attacks him, saying, "You think you're funny, do you?" "What are you talking about? You know what? First the switch in my shoes, and then the scratch on my chest, and you left coal outside on the landing. It was not me. I bet it wasn't. Just stay away from me from now on. You're naughty. Krampus is coming for you. You won't get any presents." That night, when Brian is asleep, he then hears a noise. He wakes up and tiptoes around. He hears something downstairs. Knowing it can't be Christmas time, he then sees something in the dark. Going downstairs, he then sees a big figure with a sack with chains attached to it. Looking in horror, he then turns around as he sees in the living room. And then John appears going, "What are you doing?" Then Brian grabs his mouth saying, "Shush, there's someone in the house. A burglar. I think we need to go back upstairs and tell Mother and Father." As they are about to go and tiptoe back upstairs, the fierce voice says, "Brian." Standing in the doorway, they come face to face with the devil of Christmas himself, Krampus. He then says, It's true. The story that our grandmother told, it's true, says John. It can't be, said Brian. It's just a dream. It's just a dream. You've been a very naughty boy, says Krampus, as he waves around his tongue and touches his cheek with his claws, holding his switch in one hand. You've been a bad boy, and you know what bad boys get. No, please. I'll be good, I promise, says Brian. I promise I will be a good boy from now on. I will be good to my brother. I will be good always. How can I be sure? I'll prove it to you. There's only a few days left till Christmas. Please, let me prove myself. Krampus then looks at him and says, I can taste your fear. You are terrified. But I also believe that you will be true to your word. I'll do a deal with you. You be good from now on, and I won't come back. Do you understand? Yes, said Brian. And you be good to your brother and everyone around you. I will. He will, Mr. Krampus, said John. Oh, I know he will. You will forget about this. We'll forget about this, yes. You will forget ever seeing me. But you will change your ways, says Krampus. And from this day on, I will be keeping a close eye on you both. What do you mean, both? I'm always good, says John. I know you are. But I want to make sure you stay good. Because I have a feeling we will meet again. Not anytime soon, but one day very soon. In another 40-something years, maybe. Now, both of you return to bed, and you will wake up tomorrow, and you will forget me. The boys do as Krampus says, and they return to bed. Christmas Eve, 1974. The boys go downstairs, and Brian is good to John and tells him, sorry, but I ripped up your letter you wrote to Santa, but maybe we can write one together. I'm sorry for being a bad brother to you. It is okay, Brian, but do you think Santa will get the letter? I'm sure he will if Father puts on the fire after we finish writing. Won't you, Father? Yes, of course I will. Then their father says, you know, Brian, you've been a good boy the past few days. What just made you change your ways? I just want to be a good brother. I don't know why, I just do. I feel like someone is watching. The next day, Christmas Day, 1974. The brothers wake up and hurry downstairs and open the presents that Santa has left. Then the boys say, look, Santa has left some of the mince pie, just some crumbs of it, and he's drank the milk and gave the reindeer the carrots. They then open all their presents, till one present is given to Brian. He says, "What is it?" Brian asks. "We don't know. It just says it's for you." Brian unwraps the present and finds a bell that does not make a noise. He then finds a note inside that says, "Dear Brian, the past few days you have proved that you are good, and you can be good. See you soon. In about 40-something years, we'll meet again. Now forget me. Yours sincerely, Krampus. P.S. I'm going to be keeping a close eye on you from now on." Then, looking in confusion, wondering what this letter means, we then see the house in a snow globe. And then we see Krampus pick up the snow globe, looking into it. He then places it on the shelf in his workshop, and then sits in his armchair by the fire.
And there you have it. The Devil of Christmas 1974. And of course, if you want to know if Krampus does return in 40-so years for the two brothers, then be sure to go and watch last year's Christmas special of the show. You can hear the story of the Devil of Christmas about 10 minutes and 41 seconds into the last Christmas special. So, there you go. My festive edition of the Iron Phantom's Black Book. Did you like the stories featured in this year's special? If so, then be sure to share down in the comments below, like this video, and subscribe to the official Random Horror YouTube channel, and hit the notification bell. All the social media links are down below. So, well, I guess the only thing left for me to say now is Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. You have a good Christmas, and I will see you in 2020 with a new volume of other terrifying tales to tell in 2020. So until then, don't have nightmares.